We go back to the offices of the Department of Basic Education, where our reporter Leranzu Temba is bringing us updates on a protest by Equal Education. Leranzu, can you tell us what this protest is about?
Well, the students are trickling in at outside 222 Steuben Street. This is, of course, the address for the Minister of Basic Education, Angie Motshekga. They're here to send quite a few messages. What you're seeing behind me are what we're expecting to happen today. I've been informed that there's going to be a mock swearing in of Angie Motshekga, as well as the MECs. What you're seeing, of course, is the President's face up there. Of course, the MECs for the various provinces, but more than anything, the performance contract, which you're seeing on this side, this is the key factor of why these students are here outside the minister's offices today. They want the minister, who is on her third term, to basically make amends and really just move in terms of providing safe schooling environment for millions of children around the country. They are also calling for infrastructure that has been quite a headache for the department, as well as the activists, the equalizers, who have been just making noise about it. But let's just hear from the Equal Education staff. Thank you so much, Tracy, for joining us this morning. You are one of the role players within the movement, Equal Education. But just tell us about why now. Why is it that Equal Education is going to be staging this protest, and what is this protest really about?
Okay, thanks so much for having me. So the reason why we are staging this protest outside the Department of Basic Education today is because our Minister of Basic Education, Ms. Angie Motshekga, is serving her third term as the Minister of Basic Education. And we believe that if we set the record straight now to say these are the things that we're expecting from you, and those are not the new things, we're speaking about the things that we have been calling for them for the past 10 years. And you'd remember that the minister had 10 years to eradicate unsafe and undignified schools, to also curb violence within schools, to provide scholar transport for all learners who need it, and to also put in place measurable improvements to improve the primary school education, especially early grade literacy. And you'd know that a number of young people in South Africa cannot read, count or write, and our education system is really bad. So today we wanted to stage a swearing in outside this department, and you'd remember that today is the 18th of June, which is a significant day, 2 days after June 16 and 2 days before the SONA, the State of the Nation address. So we are saying to the minister, these are the things that we want you to do. We are calling out for the public, for the performance contract of the Minister of Basic Education to be made public by the President. And we are saying that they should comply with the minimum norms and standards for school infrastructure deadlines. They should make sure that there's transparency and accountability, so that we, as the constituencies of different education departments or MECs who are serving us, we can hold them to account, especially young people who are here, learners in different schools. And we are also calling for like a provision of scholar transport, including a conditional grant. We want to know what is the progress when it comes to conditional grant and when it comes to provision of scholar transport, and the policy in KZN that we've been waiting for quite some time. We also calling for, if you'd remember, a week ago, we've issued out a press statement speaking about progress reports from like different norms and standards progress reports and plans from different provinces, which were like shocking, and they were really disheartening because they were like inaccurate, statistics. Some of them, it was like they copied and pasted some of the things that were written in like previous progress reports. So we can't allow that. She's serving for like she's serving her third term. We can't allow, like a lack of political will. We can't allow lack of agency. She needs to deliver, and that is why she's, I think, appointed as the Minister of Basic Education for the third time.
Yeah. So Tracy, let me just come in there. So you're obviously giving her a third chance, but what do you think that she's going to do now that she clearly has failed in the past 10 years?
She's still the minister, so whether she likes it or not, she should deliver. She should account to her constituencies. If it needs to be, it means we'll be here to remind her all the time that we've set it out deadlines for you. We haven't had anything from you. And it's also, if you can also check some of the demands there's also like asking for substantive engagement with her, especially with all the civil society, because all the time when we try to engage with her, she's not available, or there's like something that happens along the way. So I believe it will be like good of us as Equal Education to give her the last chance to deliver. And we're hoping that we'll see the agency, we'll see the political will that we've been asking for over the past 10 years. And if she can't deliver, then it means we'll have to sleep here. This will be our home, and we'll make sure that she delivers. So I think what's exciting about this is that we are setting up a record straight, and we are outlining the things that we're expecting from her. We are willing to engage with her if she needs our help. And we've also outlined deadlines for her to make sure that she delivers. Unlike maybe in other years, maybe we're not clear, I don't know, but I believe we've been clear from like the word go. Yeah.
Tracy, just looking at the different ministers, or rather the MECs, which is the worst performing province, and what exactly is the most urgent factor that needs to be addressed?
That's a little bit tricky question, but you'd know that in the Eastern Cape we have like lots of bedlocks, and there's a number of schools that are still made up of mud, wood, or asbestos, inappropriate infrastructure. We still have a number of plain pit latrines in a number of schools in the Eastern Cape. We have plus minus 4,000 pit latrines in rural schools. In KZN we also have plain pit latrines. If you look at Limpopo, we also have same issues. So I'd say all the rural provinces, they should be a priority, but education in general should be a priority. There should be no learner in 2019 who will die because of unsafe and undignified sanitation. There should be no learner that the wall will collapse on them and lose their life. There should be no learner who will be raped or who lose their life because they are walking to school because of lack of scholar transport. And there should be no learner who can't read and write in 2019. We should make sure that we do our best, and we are willing as South African citizens, as Equal Education, as learners, as teachers, as parents, and also as civil society, to make sure that we work with the Department of Basic Education to provide quality education.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
I think that's a mouthful that you've heard. There should be no learner that is going to perish, in school grounds. And this is basically one of the many messages that Equal Education is going to be sending through to the Department of Basic Education. We also understand that there should be an official who's going to come through and receive a memorandum as this protest intensifies as the day goes on. Over to you.
Thank you very much for that update. That was our reporter, Leranzu Temba.